Alright guys, so obviously on this channel we check out a lot of budget true wireless earbuds. In fact, we have found some very good ones in the under $100 price range. But when it comes to active noise canceling, we haven't really had a whole lot of luck because active noise canceling in that under $100 range usually isn't very impressive. But the pair that we're going to check out today, which is the UGREEN HiTune T3s, may have actually nailed the active noise canceling when it comes to budget true wireless earbuds, because this pair only retails for 36 bucks, but right now on Amazon you can pick them up for only $29. So we're going to talk about the noise canceling, we're going to talk about the features and what all comes inside the box, and talk about the sound on these, and see if it's worth that $29 or $36 price tag. So to start with, these are available in two different colors. Although I've only been able to find the white version online, I do know they come in black because that's the color that was sent to me. And I will say this is one of those earbuds that fall into that don't judge a book by its cover category, because when I picked up the case and I picked up the earbuds, first thing that I noticed is they have a very light and a very hollow feel to them. And usually you can equate that to a cheap pair that isn't going to perform very well. And that's kind of what I expected just based off picking these up and obviously their price tag. But as far as some of the specs that these have, they are using Bluetooth 5.2. Now they do only have AAC and SBC playback, so there's no high-end Bluetooth codecs here. And one thing that I noticed throughout testing these is I didn't have any kind of lag at all when it came to movies, videos, or even with gaming. So that already makes this an impressive pair to use with those types of media. Now, if you are looking for a pair to use outdoors, these do come in rated at IPX5, which is actually a notch above most active noise canceling earbuds. Most of them come in rated at IPX4, so having slightly better protection against sweat and rain and splashes and things like that is definitely nice. But this is still not one of those pairs you would want to submerge into water. Now the earbuds themselves actually have three different modes that you can listen to. It does have a normal mode, which is with the noise canceling off and the ambient mode turned off, but it does have your noise canceling mode and it does have an ambient mode, and both of those modes it does very well. Now it says that it cancels out up to 25 decibels. I think it does a really good job of blocking out lower tones like engine noises and AC units and things like that. But I did notice if people are talking around you, you are going to still hear a little bit of this. But in this price range, having noise canceling that is this good, I definitely was not expecting. And same thing with the ambient mode. Usually when you start testing the more inexpensive earbuds, the ambient mode sounds just really noisy. It's just the mic's picking up everything a little bit too sensitive, and it just sounds way too artificial. And luckily with this pair, you do hear a slight bit of digital noise from the mics, but everything around you comes through very clearly. This is easily one of those pairs that you could carry on a conversation with somebody, not actually have to take the earbuds out of your ears. Now, as far as what all they've included inside the box, it does come with 4 sets of silicone ear tips, and it does come with a USB-C cable. And you are going to have to use this USB-C cable because this pair does not have Qi wireless charging, and in this price range, that's kind of to be expected. But speaking of the charging, battery life is actually pretty decent on this pair as well, because if you just decide to use these with the noise canceling off, you can actually get about 7 hours out of the earbuds and around 24 hours using the case. But if you decide to use these with the noise canceling on all the time, you're still going to get about 5 hours on the earbuds and around 18 hours using the case. And another thing that surprised me is this pair does have a fast charge feature where if you do pick your earbuds up and they are dead, you can throw them back in the case for 10 minutes and get an hour's worth of use. So if you're somebody like me that just doesn't always make sure your earbuds are charged, if you're headed out the door to go to the gym or go for a run, and your earbuds are dead, it's nice that you can throw them in the case real quick and get that quick hour to be able to go use these. Now moving over to looking at the case and the earbuds themselves, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a very light and hollow feeling case and earbud, but the black pair is also a fingerprint magnet. I mean, as soon as I picked it picked up my fingerprints just easily. But on the bottom, you can see the pairing button and also the USB-C input. And then around on the front, it has those 3 indicator lights. And this is what allows you to see how much battery life is left on the case, but it is also what shows you that your left earbud and your right earbud are in and that they're charging. But when you pull out the earbuds, the first thing you notice, or at least the first thing that I notice, is these do resemble the AirPods Pros quite a bit. The only thing is the stem on these are slightly larger than the AirPod Pros, but these earbuds do use touch controls, and they almost got this right. This is another one of those where you get control over everything but the volume. So you have the ability to play, pause, skip your tracks forward, you can go backwards, you can switch it between noise canceling mode, ambient mode, turning your noise canceling off, but you just can't control the volume. So because these don't work with an app, this is obviously something they can't add in a firmware update. These just work the way that they do out of the box. Now for you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, I think they did a pretty decent job here with the microphones. I felt like it picked up my voice very well. Even in noisy environments, I think it did a really good job of blocking out a lot of my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the T3s. And again, overall, I'm very impressed at how clearly it's picking up my voice. I do notice some digital noise and a slight muffled sound, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because these are using 10mm wool drivers, and I can tell you this, right from the beginning, the first time that I hit play on these, you can tell that they are pushing these drivers to get the most amount of bass that they possibly can get. This is a bass head's dream when it comes to earbuds. It didn't matter what genre I was listening to, the bass just had this really forward, punchy approach. I did notice on things like metal or anything where it's chaotic, it does start to kind of pull the mids back slightly. I do still feel like the mids are done very well on this pair. For the most part, vocalists always come through extremely clear. They do sound slightly forward, again, unless you're listening to genres that pull it back a little bit. And same thing with the treble. The treble has plenty of detail, it's nice and bright, but on bass heavy tracks, it starts to get a little bit warm and it pulls the treble down a little bit. So the EQ curve on these just kind of slightly shifts towards the low end and pulls back your mids and trebles slightly. Now the treble is still definitely boosted to try to counteract with that heavy bass. So it is a very dynamic sounding earbud overall. And this is one of those things that affects your soundstage and your imaging. It feels like I'm in a medium to almost large size room, but it still feels more like I have 2 large bass heavy speakers in front of me. So it's not one of those that gives you this very airy, spacious sound, but I still didn't have any issue with being able to tell where instruments and sounds were coming from. So really, this pair kind of falls into that category because of its price tag. It's hard to nitpick the fact that it doesn't have Qi wireless charging or that it doesn't work with an app to be able to EQ these. It's just, you're getting it the way that it sounds out of the box, which I think most people are going to be happy with. And you're getting really impressive noise canceling in this price range that competes with pairs that are well over $100. And I think wrapping all of that into this $29 or even $36 price tag makes this one of those pairs that's just easy to recommend to pretty much anybody. So guys, that's my video on the UGREEN HiTune T3s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.